Yeah, I think they said that the PlayStation thing was not legit or whatever, but we'll see.
Hey there, gamers. Dreamcast Guy here.
We
Today
can
we're
check.
talking about the PlayStation drama, because for the last 5 days, there's been a tremendous amount of debate and discussion about this DRM drama that essentially, inside the newest update for the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, there's a built-in timer that essentially all your games that you buy digitally have to keep getting a fresh token. That basically it needs to keep connecting to the internet or your console gets bricked. Well, people have been basically just been begging PlayStation to explain it, to say, is this real? Is this fake? Is it part of refunds? Is it some sort of glitch? Well, Sony has now
Well, at least Aerith is on screen.
responded and said that everybody is wrong. That even if you see that code, it's not what it looks like. They claim that every game you buy, you permanently own. But let's talk about this.
And Oski Woski with the 2, a super shekel. Much appreciated, man. I do love me shekels.
Because not only is I think their statement slightly odd,
But
I still feel like
appreciate it,
this
man.
is sort of bringing us back to that heavy debate that's been getting louder on the internet, which is digital versus physical. Even if digital games are getting cheaper, if they can just remove your ownership of it, isn't it just kind of not worth that cheaper price? Don't you want an actual physical game, a cool collector's edition, a disc you can put in your console and hypothetically play forever? That's sort of been the talks, but let's take a look at the statement by Sony.
Pixelated Aerith? Well, any Aerith is better than no Aerith.
And honestly kind of dig into the Reddit reactions that have already popped up. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, I do want to be clear that this is very much breaking news. In fact, I've only found certain posts. It's not on Twitter at all. So a lot of people are still sort of discussing this strange online check-in, this verification, because right now, Sony has been very weird for the last couple of years about these online check-ins. Like right now, the current edition PlayStation 5, the basic model, has a detachable disk drive. So does the PS5 Pro, and that doesn't work without an internet connection, at least once. There is definitely a built-in token system to the code of pretty much every single game you buy on PlayStation 5. And so some people said that, okay, so it does seem like Sony has this paranoia of you jailbreaking systems or hacking it or trying to break into the storefront and get free games. It sounds like Sony's trying to basically patch these refund exploits before they actually become a problem. But here it is. This is the quote. It literally came out here 19 minutes ago. They gave it to GameSpot, and they said, regarding DRM, players can continue to access and play their purchased games as usual. A one-time online check-in is required to confirm the game's license, after which no further check-in is required. Now, the reason this is a bit odd is that what really stirred up this drama is all these tweets by Does It Play, by Lance the Dragon. A lot of people have been digging into this, and they do definitely have these countdowns. They definitely do have this thing that says, hey, online check-in required at least once every month. But Sony seems to be saying that this may just be some sort of language thing. Maybe it's phrased as they way. It's not sort of that way. If you have already installed and downloaded the game, you've already bypassed that once a month check, that first initial check-in. So even if there's a countdown timer, that's basically just when it'll refresh the countdown. It doesn't really mean anything, right? So it's unlikely that tangible issues for most players. There are definitely use cases that should see that if you're disconnected from the internet for extended periods of time. According to the statement that they gave to Kotaku, the license checks have been introduced to combat refund scams, but were designed to convert into unlimited licenses afterwards. So even if it does say, hey, 30 days is how long you have access to this game.
So it's just people scan. Okay. Yeah, so big nothing. Got it. Shocker.
Really what it means is 30-day countdown till forever. Players can continue to access and play their licensed games forever after that one-time check-in is required to confirm the game's license. So, it is funny. Hold on, look at this. GameStop is trying to dunk. Did GameStop already delete their tweet? Yeah, okay, so it seems like GameStop keeps trying to dunk on this, and then they get a little bit gun-shy. But look at this. Here, let's refresh this Reddit here. Let's see what the hotness is. So I just found this over in the PS5 Reddit, and a lot of people are like, okay, so this is a divisive topic. Personal attacks, console warring, toxic behavior will be removed and result in a permanent ban.
Thank you, Mr. Reddit moderator, for keeping us safe.
This makes my theory more likely that after the 14-day refund window has passed, you are given a permanent, basically no longer temporary license, which is pretty decent in terms of DRM measures that are common in the industry, to be honest. Now, this is where I'm in the spot, right? Well, it is still a bit odd that it's not automatic. I guess it's still the phrasing of the coding I don't like, of download the game, install it, buy it, right? And then separately, there's a token in the background. Is that happening? Is that sort of like a invisible day one patch? I guess even the act of installing it, do I get it forever? I mean, it seems like immediately I should have that one-time check-in is the download check-in, right? This also literally came out of nowhere because Scum abused return systems and got games for free. I just really don't believe this is a problem. I mean, part of the reason this just seems so odd to me is that there's no way this is just such a big deal. I read about console jailbreaking and hacking. I think that stuff is interesting from a game preservation standpoint, and it's kind of wild to me that it seems like the amount of people that are even attempting to jailbreak it, it's like particular consoles under very strict guidelines, and usually there's very little you can do with it. You're not stealing games. To act like this is such a major problem, they had to like roll out a worldwide update for these like token verifications, license updates. It seems a bit odd. I really think that this is like a public statement to try and spin something that to me feels a bit more malevolent. The number of posts I saw about this, despite us knowing nothing based on pure blind speculation and rage baiting, were absolutely insane. People are just foaming at the mouth for literally anything to be gamer mad about. I do love that term, gamer mad. But this is the thing, right?
That is true. I actually agree, fellow Redditor. I mean, not a fellow Redditor, just Redditor in general. Obviously, I've never used Reddit, dude. But, yeah. It's like most things in the gaming community, quote-unquote. It's just everybody fucking spurging out over the smallest little thing, even if it doesn't even affect them in the first place. And in reality, you know, like, you know, it didn't even turn out to be real in this instance. But even if it was real, almost no one who lives in a developed nation would even be remotely affected by this in the slightest.
Is that the countdown is real. Like, you can be mad about the reactions to it, but I do think that this is a bit diminishing to the fact that it is real. Like, the countdown does exist. People didn't see it.
Y'all spurged out over nothing.
People have critical thinking skills of doorknobs, and on top of that, their worst case scenario is the most foam-mouthed opinions of things with little thought and pause for new information. I can't believe this is the new normal. All right, now the time to get back to Saros. Hell yes.
The game preservation crowd, when it comes to actually playing the games they're trying to preserve. And then it's just crickets.
This really should have been communicated by PlayStation directly on their channel a week or so ago. Now, this I 1000% agree with, right? I feel like something I've talked a lot in videos is that every company now is just so dang silent. They don't talk about stuff until it's way, way too late, right? Delays, even announcement, even positive stuff. They just feel like they don't talk about it until literally it starts to affect the entire company. I think with a sensitive topic like this, there's actually an internal procedure where they can't say anything officially. I might be wrong, or you might find it stupid, but I believe it. Are you for real? This was the obvious outcome. You had a bunch of losers throwing out information. Sony can't stop that. I feel like it's still worth saying that, though, right? I still feel like literally a single tweet. This is not even a tweet. They literally gave one, like, sentence response to GameSpot, and nobody else. And
that's all you warranted.
It stops it, right? Why couldn't they have done that a week ago? Why do they have to wait until it becomes such a giant trending topic to come out here with their hat in their hand and say, oh, whoopsie-doodle, it's actually all fake? Wait, you're telling me a bunch of people on the internet misinterpreted something and then massively overreacted? I, for one, am shocked. I feel like this is the PlayStation 5 Reddit, so no hate on them, but it does seem that they're really trying to minimize the fact that I do think the forced all-digital future is coming. I do think there is a time that is much closer than much farther away.
The forced all-digital future. I love my Steam Deck. See, I'm sorry, bro. Anyone who complains about the forced digital future, you better not fucking buy digital games. That's all I can say. If you have the option to buy a game physically or digital, you better not buy a single fucking digital game. Otherwise, you're just as big of a part of the problem as everyone else you love to blame.
That there won't be physical games at all. There is talks that the PlayStation 6 does have a disc drive, that it will be backwards compatible with the PS4 and the PS5, but I do feel like the days are coming where there just won't be physical games at all. And at this point, tokens, online check-ins, licensing updates, that's going to be not only mandatory, it's going to be the only way your system works. Online only may not be here yet, thank God, but I do feel like it's closer than it is further. These are some off-the-cuff thoughts. I'm a little bit out of breath. I actually had to take an Uber to go to the doctor, and on the way back, the Uber actually broke down on the highway, so I had to run the last mile home. But you know what? I'm here. I'm sweaty.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm happy to be talking games. Love you very much. Be sure to give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to keep dreaming.
Oh my god.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something...
That's like some Looney Tunes shit. I don't fucking know, man.